Coming up on Mountain News this morning, Eastern Kentucky road crews keep a close eye on the forecast, and Governor Andy Beshear warns folks about possible icy conditions as a winter storm moves through the Commonwealth.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning to you. It's Friday. I'm Dakota Makris, and it's 6:01 here. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. And it's cold outside, so hopefully y'all are bundled up. Let's take it over to Brandon for a look at our forecast. And Brandon, I didn't have that bad of a hard time driving into work this morning, but as you said and Cameron said all morning, there's some concerns for black ice and ice just later on in the day as those temperatures drop.
Exactly. So here's the thing. We already had the water. Right. We didn't get the ice falling from the sky that we originally thought we were going to get, which thankful for that. I've never been more glad to be wrong on a forecast than that one. And we never did predict that much ice anyway, but still, we'll take that because the power is still on and you'll need that as the temperatures continue to drop today. But there's all that water still on the roads. That could be problematic as we go deeper into the day. Let's take a look at live pinpoint Doppler radar right now. Want to point out and highlight one location there. Zoom in a little closer there where heavier bands of snow and sleet are falling from basically Irvin over in Estill County, Stanton and Powell County, all the way up toward I-64 and Moorhead. So you got the Mountain Parkway corridor and the I-64 corridor potentially seeing some heavy snow there, heavy sleet, so be aware of that. So let's take a look at that Moorhead camera, and I can't tell. It looks like there might be something flying up there. It's a kind of a static shot, but it's either snow or sleet. Regardless, be careful. Slick roads across the region, especially in areas where the temperatures are still dropping. 32 Wise, 32 Hazard, 32 Jackson, 32 Prestonsburg and Logan. And then you go back down toward Williamsburg, the warmest spots in the region, 36 in Jacksboro and 35 in Middlesboro, but 26 in Irvin are a cold spot this morning. They're likely seeing either some sleet or some snowflakes there. We'll check back on the forecast here in just a little bit. Dakota?
All right, Brandon, thank you. And let's check in with meteorologist Cameron Aaron, who has been out in Hazard all morning, just checking those conditions. Cameron, good morning to you.
Good morning, Dakota. You are right here in Hazard. Nothing really happening so far in terms of icing on the roadways. Right now, we're looking at a pretty wet road and also some wet sidewalks as well. However, as Brandon just mentioned, those temperatures are going to continue falling this morning and into the afternoon as well. And as we fall below freezing, there is definitely a possibility of some black ice and slick spots on the roads. I have noticed a few of those road crews flying by this morning, so they are out and getting those roads safe for us to drive on later on today. But please be sure to be careful and give yourself plenty of time this morning if you are out and about. If you can stay home, do that. But if you can't, just please be sure to give yourself plenty of time because slick spots are definitely possible across the region throughout your Friday and maybe into your Saturday as well as we struggle to make it above freezing into the weekend. Dakota?
All right, Cameron, thank you very much. Well, as the rain continues to fall across the region, hazardous roads remain a concern for counties in the Big Sandy region. Now, though the icy conditions may not be present everywhere, slick spots and puddled water could still be an issue for those out on the roads. And with overnight temperatures, officials urge against unnecessary travel, saying if you do need to be on the roads, you should give yourself plenty of time to get where you're going. Road crews are still out in full force, taking on the weather and treating the roads as that weather continues to drizzle down. Well, as Big Sandy road crews are keeping their eyes on the forecast as the winter weather moves through our region, road crews have been preparing all week, but the main efforts have to wait until the ice is on the ground. So work crews are on call. Once the ice falls, workers say there are certain factors like fallen trees and power outages that could create an even trickier time for cleanup and cleaning efforts.
When utility lines are tangled in down trees, that's something that we do not clear those trees until the utility companies have a chance to come out there and address those lines. We don't want to take a chance on a line being live or it being restored and we're not aware and we're out there working.
Well, crews say they plan to battle the ice as it comes down, and like we have been saying this morning, you are encouraged to just stay home, and then if you do have to be out, make sure you give crews room to work. We have seen plenty of snow in 2022, but this winter storm is different. Our Jordan Mullins has more from Pike County, where officials are reminding people about the danger that comes with icy conditions and how to be prepared.
Officials in Pike County are monitoring the upcoming storm closely. Flooding was a major concern, but has since been largely ruled out as the National Weather Service changed liquid precipitation totals.
We're only looking at about a half an inch of rain to this point. So with that being said, if we do get another inch, if it doesn't all come in an hour, you know, we should be okay as far as what they're predicting for this storm.
But Jackson and his team at Pike County Emergency Management are still remaining vigilant as conditions could worsen overnight.
The morning commute's going to be kind of dangerous if the temperatures don't come up a whole lot, and we're looking at temperatures in the 30s. So, you know, it's optimum for anything freezing at that point in time.
And with 1 to 2/10 of an inch of ice accumulation possible, power outages, fallen tree limbs, and fallen lines become more dangerous.
Fallen trees, fallen limbs, especially if they get in power lines, stay away from those.
Jackson and other officials also suggest being prepared for an outage with alternate heating methods.
Try to be proactive, make that happen now, between now and 2 a.m. in the morning. Don't be scrambling to try to get alternate methods of heat.
Advising folks in Pike County to stay safe and warm through more winter weather. In Pikeville, Jordan Mullins, WYMT Mountain News.
Jackson also says to avoid the roads if possible, but to drive slow and watch out for frozen bridges if travel is necessary. Much of northern and central Kentucky are already seeing the impacts of freezing rain. Government offices in Elizabethtown closed at noon yesterday, and emergency warming shelters have been put on standby. At the Pritchard Community Center, a large portable generator, as well as trailers with medical supplies and items from the Red Cross, have been stationed if they're needed. The ice threat kept grocery stores very busy. The manager at this E-Town grocery store says this is the busiest they've been since the start of the pandemic, as shoppers prepped for winter's worst.
Just a few things just in case power goes out. You never know. You've got to have things that you can eat when it's cold.
Well, the Ace Hardware store has also been busy. They were down to their last few shovels, heaters, and bags of salt. Well, road crews have been getting ready for days for this ice storm over in Lexington. Officials have warned drivers to stay off the roads overnight. The Lexington Fire Chief is reminding everyone with the portable grill or generator to keep it outside, at least 20 feet away from your home. Police are also spread out across the city. Police say they are watching the Interstate 2 and will reroute traffic if conditions become dangerous. City workers are asking folks to stay home. They also said it's best to expect the power to go out. A representative from Kentucky Utilities says conditions can get dangerous fast, especially if lines or trees go down. Well, Governor Andy Beshear discussed the winter storm yesterday in a news briefing and is also advising people to stay off the roads. Although southern and eastern Kentucky are not expected to be hit as hard as other parts of the state, we could still have slick roads, scattered power outages, and other damage. Now, the governor says our region needs to be prepared for possible flooding as well.
We do believe that there is going to be some ice. We do believe that there's going to be some snow, and then there's a whole lot of precipitation, especially in the southeast where we would anticipate flooding.
There are no reports of major flooding so far, and that's a good thing. Well, we have more local weather coverage and the latest closings on the WYMT News app. If you have not downloaded the app, just take a scan of the code on your screen with your camera, with your phone. This will take you to a link to our news app that you can download. You can always find the latest closings and delays along with breaking news alerts. We encourage you to download both the WYMT News and weather apps. Those are certainly really great tools to have. Well, the Commonwealth hit a grave milestone yesterday, surpassing 13,000 deaths due to COVID-19. The state also added nearly 9,000 new cases, bringing the total to more than 1,180,000. There were 30 new deaths reported, including a 41-year-old, bringing the death toll to 13,026. The positivity rate is down a little bit more to 25.67%. Well, this is Black History Month, the time to celebrate some trailblazers in our country. Race analysts show that women of color account for a mere 5% of healthcare leadership positions in the United States. Well, we have a hero within our own region, Dr. Maria Brayman. Now, she is the Chief Medical Officer at ARH in Hazard, and has been a frequent guest on Issues and Answers and a leader since in the pandemic. We hope to have a highlight more people later this month.
All right, the forecast this morning here at 6:11, a little bit on the soggy side for some, snowy side for others. Let's take a look at Live Pinpoint Doppler radar, and we're continuing to watch some snow bands work their way through parts of central and northern Kentucky, and some heavy snow up toward the I-64 corridor. We're going to take a live look here in a little bit with Allie Blake, who's up in Lexington area going east on 64 toward Moorhead, so we'll hopefully get to look at that here in just a little bit. I-75 at Corbin there, we're seeing again a little bit of fog down that way this morning and some wet roads, so continue to be careful as you head out, because we're going to see the possibility for some black ice and maybe just some regular ice as those roads maybe freeze up. They're wet everywhere from all that rain we got yesterday, and the temperatures are still going down. 26 Irvin, 36 in Jacksboro, and again we'll be in the 20s by later this afternoon. As we go through the daytime hours, we're kind of leveling it out about 30 degrees this morning, 30 to 32 degrees, and that will continue to fall as we see some scattered precipitation also across our region. Dakota?
All right, Brandon, thank you very much. Well, coming up, the CDC tries a new method to detect COVID cases here in the U.S. We'll tell you all about it when we come back.